This is the Jason Walker Show. Two-time National Sports Media Association Montana Sportscaster of the Year and three-time loser, the Jason Walker Show. The best local and statewide sports coverage, featuring the biggest guests from Montana.
Flint Rasmussen joining us here on the Jason Walker Show.
He's freaking exhausting, too. You used to dance a lot more. Yeah, I know, lady. I'm 51 years old now.
The NAI Hall of Famers, Mike Van Diest, joining us here, Jason Walker Show. And is it just a deal where quarterbacks have to be good golfers?
Well, that's all they have time for. They don't work out. They don't lift weights. They don't do anything else. They might as well go get on the golf course and at least have some fun.
And from across the country,
Doug Gottlieb, our guest here on the Jason Walker Show.
End of the day, remember, it's your show. It's got your name on it.
Howie Mandel, our guest here.
Jason Walker, deal or no deal?
The Jason Walker Show, broadcasting from the Major Mortgage Man Cave. Here's Jason Walker.
Yo, happy Tuesday. It is the Jason Walker Show. Back in the saddle again and having a great time. Getting a fun conversation today, two fun conversations. We're going to chat with Mikell Hougen, who's got a barrel racing Bible camp coming up next week, and I want to chat with her about that. So that'll be coming up here in about 20 minutes or so. We're also going to check in with one of the greatest people I've ever met in my life. And she's going into the North Dakota State Athletics Hall of Fame. It is Lindsey Gustafson, Lindsey Graham Gustafson, former CMR coach. And she will join us coming up here in just a little bit, about 4:40 or so here on the Jason Walker Show. So inside the Major Mortgage Man Cave, got a big show coming up today. With those two, also on this day in history and other stuff coming up. And some Montana-related history as well today. And a birthday that's Montana-related. So that's all on the way. And you can listen, Podbean, Network One Sports, Treasure State Radio. You can also go on Facebook, YouTube, and Twitter. And become a viewer as well. And let's see what else. Go to jasonwalkershow.com for literally anything else. And all things show related. So, all right, let's start with our daily COVID update. And trying to get on the YouTube here, so we'll get that going here in a second. But our daily COVID update. And this is, of course, from the state of Montana and its COVID website. Ready? There were 109 new cases reported today. That brings Montana up to 1,034 active cases. 884 have recovered. There are 29 active hospitalizations and 34 total deaths. Remember a couple of months ago, so the total tests are 121,000. That's about just over a tenth of Montana's population. They did 2,700 tests yesterday. Remember a couple months ago in Governor Steve Bullock's like big old declaration of, hey, we're going to do 60,000 tests a month. Dude, you've barely gotten double that in 4 months. How in the heck are you going to do 60,000 tests in a month? And I still want the governor to come on the show. I've reached out to his people, and they just refuse to respond. So that's on them. Apparently, a little podcast isn't a big deal to Governor Bullock. So, and he's going to get asked real questions, not softball questions. Come on the show, bud, please. I'm not even going to beg. Just saying please is a niceness. But anyway, Yellowstone County, 369 active cases. Leads the state by far. And yet, let's get the Big Sky State games going this weekend. Because that's important. 369 active cases in Yellowstone County. 52 in neighboring Bighorn. Gallatin County, 177 active cases. Lewis and Clark, 40. There's some counties that have yet to have any cases at all, and some that have no active cases. But 1,034. Do you remember when Governor Bullock opened up the state? June 1st. But also, remember it was the middle of May when phase 1 started. And then, we opened up the state June 1st, no longer having to quarantine. And we had like 12 active cases. Remember that? And now we have over 1,000 active cases. Like, our active cases in a month and a half have increased by 1,000%. I think that's accurate math. But that's where we're at. That's our state totals. That's where we are. Is at 1,034 active cases. So, awesome. And yet, they're still planning on fall sports. Still planning on it. Look, I would love to see some, fall sports and have something to talk about that's not COVID related. Actual fun sports to watch and care about. Because I don't care about the NBA. I could not care less that they're going to attempt to come back this month in their bubble where players are already leaving and then coming back with COVID positive tests. So that's smart. They're trying to bring their side chicks in as well to the bubble, which is not going to go well. It's just nuts. MLB would love to see baseball. But I could not care any less about NBA coming back and MLS and WSL, whatever it's called, any of it. But as long as we get our college football fixed this fall, right? Power 5 athletic directors are now saying that it's probably not. I mean, there's a lot of people in the Power 5 Division I FBS that are saying they're under 50% thinking that there's actually going to be fall sports and a football season. Lincoln Riley came out, head coach Oklahoma, and said it has to happen. Whether it's a shortened season, a full season, move it to the spring, whatnot, but it has to happen. Why? Why does college football have to happen? Take out all of the economic, for the schools. Why does college football have to happen? Why do we need college football so much this fall? Kids go to college, correct me if I'm wrong, to get a degree, right? Because the majority of college athletes are not going to the pros. We've all seen those commercials. Doesn't matter the sport. So let's ask the legit question. Why is college football so important that we have to have it? When in reality, those football players are supposed to be going to school to get a degree. There's a reason it's student athlete, not athlete student. Just saying. And it's an opinion. Look, like I said, I'd love to have sports to talk about. But are we even going to have school? Are schools going to even be open? Whether it's colleges or K through 12? We don't know. We literally still don't know. We'll find out here in the next few weeks. There's no question about that. Because it's going to start happening. Where decisions are going to have to be made. And we'll see if people take heed and send kids back to school. It'll be very interesting because of the fact that what do we got going on here? Let's meet that. I just look at it from the aspect of there's so much politics involved nowadays that none of it makes sense. Nobody knows what to believe. I watched the report today from ABC News, Good Morning America. ABC News, mainstream media, but they did a story in a whole segment. It's on YouTube. I shared it on my Facebook page, personal. But basically saying that masks are no good. The only people that should wear masks are sick people. If you already are sick, then you should wear the mask to protect others. Not if you're not sick. And then the surgical masks are only supposed to be for those in healthcare, not the public. Not to mention, a lot of the masks don't actually protect you. They really don't. Droplets, sneezes, coughs, whatever, it's still going to get in your mask. Cloth, it's going to come right through. Look, I want sports. I just don't see how it's going to happen. I really don't. 1,034 cases in Montana, active right now. So, all right. What else are we going to chat about before we get to talking barrel racing? Did you see this? Nicole, I don't know. This was a doctor talking, and I just got a Facebook message from Nicole, watching live. Well, it says, but what if you are sick but don't have symptoms? Look, I'm not a doctor. I'm telling you what the doctor I watched talk about today. And it's you can go to YouTube, you go to ABC, Good Morning America. Find it. It's from today. And there's a doctor saying masks don't work. Multiple doctors saying masks don't work. And I'm not arguing with you, Nicole. I'm just telling you what I saw. But let's switch gears. We're going to talk to Lindsey Gustafson coming up here in about 20 minutes, 25 minutes or so. Also going to be joined by Mikell Hougen. Big barrel race coming up next week and a Bible camp. Not sure if you saw this yesterday. We were talking about the cancel culture with the Washington Redskins and the Montana connection. We talked to Flint Rasmussen about it with the Browning Indians that come out in full headdress for state tournament games, which is just awesome. Just flat out awesome. And, of course, Blackfeet Reservation, the home of Blackie Wetzel, who designed the Redskins logo back in the 70s. So I put a thing up on my Facebook. We read the letter yesterday talking about the ridiculousness of name changes, but here's another one. Washington Post Global Opinions editor Karen Ataya wrote an op-ed yesterday that called on the Texas Rangers baseball team to change the name. Basically saying that, quote, not so far off from being called the Texas Klansmen, end quote. In her op-ed, Ataya talked about the racial history of the Rangers, including efforts that the organization took to remove Native Americans from the land, capture runaway slaves, oppressing black people, hiding or attempting to get to Mexico. They want to change the Texas Rangers. And I said, look, we need to change literally everything. I'm not Catholic, so we should change the New Orleans Saints, which then Carroll College Saints. Bears are dangerous. Bears kill people. So Rocky, Battling Bears, Montana Grizzlies, lions, tigers, bears, like, you know, in zoos and circuses and stuff, that's bad. So we should get rid of all things related to that. Birds kill people and other animals, so we should get rid of like the hawks or raptors. Hurricanes are bad. Miami Hurricanes, Carolina Hurricanes, should change those. Thunder and lightning, that scares people. Sometimes it kills. Lightning. So Tampa Bay Lightning, Oklahoma City Thunder, have to change those names. See how ridiculous this is all getting and sounding? Because that's where we're headed. Some people can't afford to have lights, so Northern, that's bad. Northern Lights. I know it's about the actual Northern Lights, but you can't see the Northern Lights with all the pollution, right? According to environmentalists. So it's a trickle down, roll down, just stupidity, cancel culture. And yeah, so there you go. Texas Rangers, keep your name. Because if we get rid of the Redskins and the Atlanta Braves and the Cleveland Indians, we got to get rid of, and you get rid of the Texas Rangers, then you have to get rid of the Dallas Cowboys. Because according to PETA, Cowboys are bad because they punish animals, which they don't. So PETA's full of crap. But Dallas Cowboys has to go away. LC State Warriors. That the Warriors, that has to be changed, right? Every name has to be changed. And we'll just go with, well, we can't go light and dark jerseys because that's bad. Can we go jersey? We'll just go home and away. Just home jersey, away jersey. That's literally what we'll call everybody from now on. Everybody's going to have the same mascots, the homes and the aways. It was just whatever jersey you're wearing is what your team name is for that game. Dumb. All right, well, we'll take a break. We got some good news to talk about. Lindsey Gustafson, former CMR coach, is heading into the North Dakota State Hall of Fame. She'll join us coming up here in about 20 minutes. But when we return next here on the Jason Walker Show, we're going to check in with Mikell Hougen and chat about barrel racing and a whole lot more. Mikell Hougen, I'm sorry. And coming up in just a couple of minutes here on the Jason Walker Show. You don't want to miss it, ever.
Have you thought about buying a home and just don't know where to begin? Well, when it comes to one of the most important purchases one can make, we understand it can be frustrating and confusing, but it doesn't have to be. Let the Major Mortgage team help you with all your mortgage needs. Major Mortgage means major service, and we would love the opportunity to help you today. Give J.R. McFadden, NMLS number 1246357, a call today at 406-465-1918, or you can visit him at 2001 11th Avenue, Building A, Suite 3 in Helena. Major Mortgage is a division of AMCAP Mortgage, NMLS number 129122, equal housing lender. Do you love to look at photos of Montana, from animals to landscapes and more? Are you looking for a place to get your senior pictures or family portraits done? Are you a business owner looking to upgrade the decor in your offices? Well, look no further than Mark LaRoe Photography. Mark has been shooting beautiful photos all across the Treasure State, from rodeos to portraits, and would love to work with you. Visit marklaroephotography.com to see many masterpieces of his work, then give him a call to schedule your own photo shoot. Or to purchase one of his fantastic pieces, stop by Spirit of the Big Sky Gallery on Custer in Helena. marklaroephotography.com.
Who doesn't love being number one? When your team's dominating the standings, or your favorite band rocks the charts at number one, it feels good, right? Kind of like how it feels when you have auto insurance with State Farm. Because making you feel like number one is an honor your local State Farm agent takes seriously. Through the good times and not so good, your State Farm agent's proud to be here to help life go right.
Call State Farm agent Mike Miller in Helena today.
I'm done with this.
Thinking about trying something new? The Montana Air National Guard has so many exciting career fields to choose from, many that can open up opportunities in your civilian life. The best part? You'll be getting paid to learn a new trade skill right here at home. What are you waiting for? Let's get you in school and get you paid. Contact Luke Fecto at 406-788-8962.
Yes, it's true that Montana is a long way from the Gulf Coast, but you can bring that Cajun flavor home with a stop at Cafe Zydeco. From po' boys to classic sandwiches, Cafe Zydeco has all the best Cajun in town. Are you in the mood for seafood gumbo or crawfish etouffee? Maybe you're craving jambalaya with some shrimp and grits. Head in for breakfast, lunch, or dinner, or call ahead for pickup or delivery. Cafe Zydeco will fix all your southern cravings, even on a chilly Montana day. Cafe Zydeco is a proud sponsor of The Jason Walker Show. Do you love to look at photos of Montana from animals?
Store-wide savings are what you'll find when you shop for new home furnishings at Rucker's Furniture. This means tremendous values on Helena's largest in-stock selection of home furnishings. When you shop Rucker's, you'll find store-wide savings on the furniture you want for every room in your home. And you'll also find our selection of Serta iComfort, the most comfortable beds in Helena. 12-month financing is available with approved credit on most purchases over $299. Ask for details. You'll find store-wide savings at Rucker's Furniture, 1010 Dearborn, Helena.
All right, here we go. Jason Walker Show. No music apparently coming back. So, oops. Major Mortgage Man Cave. This segment brought to you by Rucker's Furniture. Make the quality choice for your home at Rucker's Furniture, 1010 Dearborn in Helena. As want to get to our first guest, Lindsey Gustafson will join us coming up. The newest member of the North Dakota State Softball Hall of Fame, Athletics Hall of Fame, but the CMR coach. She will join us coming up. But we are joined now via the Airlink. Mikell, is it Hougen? Did I get that right?
Yes.
Nice. Because it literally says on your Facebook profile, pronounce his name this way. So I got it right.
Right.
Hey, thanks for joining us. How are you?
I'm doing great. How are you doing?
You know, I'm living the dream. I get to talk about no sports on a sports talk show, so that's a lot of fun. But I reached out to you, Mikell, because I saw your Facebook page a little bit ago, or a couple weeks ago, I guess, but you've got a big barrel racing Bible camp coming up. And more about the barrel racing, more or less about the barrel racing, less about the Bible camp, but J.R. Vizane. And we all know the J.R. Vizane story and him and his wife and the struggle that it's been the last couple of years. Take us through what's going to happen next week.
Well, they're going to join us on Tuesday, and we are going to do a lot of barrel racing. JR and his wife are going to join us in the evenings. Every evening, we're going to sit around a campfire, and JR is going to tell stories like he's good at, and just be an inspiration to those kids.
How many barrel racers do you have?
So, including my daughter, there's going to be 14.
Okay, and they're
all young.
Well, that's awesome. What ages are we talking?
So I have about 4 10-year-olds, quite a few 13 and 14-year-olds, and then a few older kids.
Gotcha. When you look at JR and his recovery, and I talked to Sage Newman a couple of weeks ago, and of course, JR is married to the Newman sister, but JR is getting better. He's never going to be 100%, but he's such an inspiration. And is he the reason you've reached out to do this?
Well, I actually had a friend mention it to me because there's been so many camps that were canceled this summer.
Yeah.
And this is my first one. We're kind of winging it, but I knew that JR would just be able to bring so much value. And so I reached out to him, and yes, him and Shelby were just excited to help join.
It's going to be a ton of fun. And when you look at it, as Mikell Hougen joined us here on the Mike Miller State Farm Hotline, have you talked to them about what the message is going to be? And I mean, this is a couple of nights that they're going to sit and just tell stories.
Right. Nope, I haven't been able to. They're busy. I haven't been able to run them down. I think he'll probably speak whatever he feels is on his heart that evening, answer questions, and he's has great humor, so I know we'll get a lot of laughs too.
There's no doubt about that. So it's July 21st through the 23rd. It is starts a week from today down at Melstone. Can people still sign up?
No, I'm full. I actually only want to have 10 kids. When you start one-on-one barrel racing, 3 barrels at each station, it's a lot. So no, we're done. We're full.
And this is is this going to be an all-day barrel race and lessons? And I mean, it's like a summer camp essentially.
It is, yep. Well, we are going to be tie-dyeing T-shirts. We're going to be painting on canvas. We're going swimming at the Millstone Pool. And hopefully the girls are able to play games and laugh and play basketball and just have a good time and enjoy the 3 days and build some lasting friendships and make some memories.
I think it's really cool. You mentioned the swimming and the canvas, maybe some fishing, but what I really like about this too, Michael, is these girls are good at what they do. They're great horsewomen as it is, but you're going to be going through basics of horsemanship and skills and maybe different ways to look at running barrels a little bit, and that's what JR and Shelby are going to talk about too. That mental preparedness. This is a full 3 days.
Yes, I hope I can keep them really busy.
I don't think you'll have any problems with that. When you look at the horsemanship, like I said, a lot of these girls coming in, they're young, but they already know what they're doing. What will you focus on?
Just being correct. A lot of times I do see younger kids, making the wrong approach into first barrel. And so we're just going to be fine-tuning, not changing a whole lot of their style, but just kind of fine-tuning some things to make them faster. We'll talk a lot about taking care of horses and not trying to beat each other. You go out there and you just make your best run. You don't think about your competitors. You don't get too high. You don't get too low. And I'm always telling my daughter to be a gracious winner and a humble loser. I just mainly just have fun and always strive for success and not to be afraid to fail. I don't know.
That's cool.
I just hope it's a great time for them.
No, I mean, I wish I was a 11-year-old girl that could come down to this camp. And you mentioned, Michael, the approaching that first barrel. And, I've watched a ton of barrel racing in my life. I've never done it, but when you, because a lot of rough stock guys are afraid to get on barrel horses because they're scary. But when you talk about that approach into the first barrel, whether it's right or left, how do you cut off seconds? How do you cut off split seconds? It's all the difference in a 100th of a point or a second to win a barrel race or not.
Right. To me, it's all about angles, and I see a lot of those girls going, they head straight for that first barrel, and they call first barrels called the money barrel for a reason. If you have a bad first, then it sets your angles up wrong for second, and then you're set up wrong for third. So to that approach to that first barrel is key.
And when you watch the NFR, do you ever get frustrated when you're sitting there watching the ladies of barrel racing going at it and be like, oh, you took a terrible angle?
No. No, they'd have so much adrenaline running down that alley, and that is a hard place to run. And yeah, to control that adrenaline, and your horse has to feel that and feed off of that. No, not there. I don't.
Mikell Hougen, our guest here. A couple final questions for you. But when you look at barrel racing, and it's as much the rider as it is the horse, and these horses are trained so well, and they're so good. I mean, when you think of like Louis and with Lisa Lockhart and who was the Lindsey Cruz and Martha, or not Lindsey Cruz, Lindsey Sears and Martha back in the early 2000s, but. And you mentioned alleys, Michael, and some of these are long, some of them are short, and some of the arenas are smaller than others too. How do you teach that next week in your camp about how to approach different arenas, because they're not all the same?
Right. Well, the first 101 is, when they get there and unload, take care of the horse, they need to go check where their first barrel is, where the eye's at, and try to never change your approach into that barrel. You're still going to always be looking for that same spot, no matter what. It just, you might have to run down the arena further to get your correct approach. And, they're definitely like the circuit finals in Great Falls. If you run to the left there, you have a huge advantage. Hitting that first barrel to the right, it's a real straight turn.
Yeah, and the outdoor Big Sky Pro Rodeo there at Great Falls too is a little odd of a setup outside too. And Not all arenas are built perfect. We've seen some horses, Michael, that the riders take off immediately down the alley, and some, walk them up until it's time to go. Which do you prefer?
I prefer like Lisa and Louie. I love her style and how calm she keeps him, and they walk up there and they just go. And I think a smooth run is a fast run. I have a horse though that he kind of goes when he wants to go, and that's not ideal for me.
What are you teaching your daughter?
Keep him as calm as she can.
Nice.
Calm,
like
and you walk up there, right?
Michael, I'm looking forward to this. Is this the first annual that you're doing?
Yes, absolutely. I've always kind of had it on my heart to help kids. I've done quite a bit of charity work traveling abroad. And so this is my first barrel racing Bible camp. So I'm hoping I can articulate what I want to teach the kids. I feel like I feel it on a horse. So I'm hoping I can explain to them so they understand what I'm asking.
Well, you've qualified for the Montana Pro Rodeo Finals 4 times. You are the Rookie of the Year. You're an NRA Finals qualifier. Are you doing much riding this summer?
I am. I'm just staying home. I'm training. So I have quite a few colts I'm riding. My daughters actually were taking her to several NRA rodeos, and she's running my horse, and nice. So I'm the driver and the videographer.
Your mom.
Yep, I'm a mom. I love it.
And you get all the money that when she pulls the checks, right?
Oh no, that goes right into her account.
There you go. I like that. So you've got a heck of a history though. Bellefouche, Spokane, Sheridan, Livingston. What was it like to get money in Livingston? Because that's a big old rodeo.
Oh, it's exciting when you pull checks when the best in the world are running at these rodeos. It's pretty amazing. But it was actually Bellefouche when I was in the last perf, and when I went to the secretary to get my check, I looked at them and was like, whoa. But to be able to have a horse that you can go compete on anywhere in the nation, it was definitely a blessing. And hopefully I get another one of those horses here after my daughter graduates, and we'll travel a little bit more.
Well, you could have just kept your horse and got her a new one.
Right. Yeah.
You've put in the work. She hasn't yet. Come on.
Yeah, I've put in a lot. She puts in a lot of work too.
I know.
She ride the young ones, and she's becoming a good rider, making her ride those young ones too.
There's a couple of names in the Barrel Racing Bible Camp forum that really stuck out to me, along with JR and Shelby, but Judy Millimaki and Janet Erickson, absolute, just the best, right?
Oh yes, I adore both of those gals. I started riding with Judy when I was in high school, and then actually when my daughter and I went to Arizona this winter, we rode with Judy a lot. And Janet, I lived in Helena for a while, just up the road from Janet, and she's actually where I got my really good horse from. And Janet and Sid taught me a lot.
That's awesome. Looking forward to this camp and hearing all about it. And next year we'll have to chat sooner so we can get more people involved. And
right.
But send pictures, and don't be a stranger, because now you're a friend of the show and you can come on anytime you want. So is it Scobie you're heading to this week?
Yeah, on Thursday we're heading to Scobie.
Okay, that's not exactly a small hike.
Well, it's closer than the next weekend's Eureka. So Scobie's.
I played in a baseball tournament one time in Scobie, and that was one of the longest trips of my life.
Yeah, especially from Bozeman or Helena. It's
well, we went from Bozeman to Laurel to Miles City to Scobie and then home. So yeah, it was a long, long road trip.
When you live in Melstone, everywhere is a long way.
That is true. Michael, say hi to JR and Shelby, and I'm really proud of you. This is going to be a fun thing, and I hope it's a big success for you.
All right. Thank you so much.
Yep. That is Mikell Hougen joining us here on the Mike Miller State Farm Hotline, Jason Walker Show. And it's very cool. Big old Bible camp coming up, and barrel racing Bible camp next week in Melstone. And like she said, it is sold out, but it's so cool. And to get to tell those type of stories is why we continue to do this show with No Sports, because we get a chance to just have cool people and great stories and people doing awesome things for the youth of America, and especially Montana. So thanks to Mikell for joining us here, and this segment brought to you by Rucker's Furniture. Make the quality choice for your home at Rucker's Furniture, 1010 Dearborn in Helena. Got a note from our friend Nicole, and during that interview, and she said, hey, thanks for touching on COVID stuff every day. It's a big part of sport and the daily life right now. Science changes daily, and I think the best we can do is practice good hygiene and rely only on ourselves to keep safe. I'm still amazed how a health issue turned so divisive. But I'll finish her thoughts. So much for, quote, United States, end quote. Thanks for expressing your views and continuing to talk about what really matters, such as race relations and cancel culture. I might as well crawl into a hole for the next 20 years. And Nicole, you're probably not the only one. We appreciate you listening. You've been a big fan, even back to the old radio days. So appreciate you, Nicole, for being a fan and a great supporter of the Jason Walker Show. But it's cancel culture is absolutely nuts. And, she said, it's amazed how a health issue turned so divisive. And depending on your political beliefs, COVID's going to go away November 4th or in 2024. I mean, that's essentially where we're at because of the world we live in right now and the country that we live in right now, because the hate for one guy, and COVID has become political. It's not just, the global issue. And you got Andrew Cuomo on the Fallon show last night laughing and yucking it up, but he's got over 32,000 dead in New York, including over 6,000 in nursing homes because of his policies. I mean, that's why it's political. And it's sad. It absolutely sucks, but that's where we're at. Trust me, if I knew back in March that it was going to be like this, I don't know I don't know. If you had told me in November when I got fired that we would be 7-8 months later, 9 months later talking about no sports, I'd have said you were nuts. Just like was it 5 years ago or so? I was moving in from my apartment into my now wife, her house, and we dropped some stuff off at Goodwill. And the guy that took the donations found out what I did at the time. And he's like, sports as we know it will not look the same in a decade. And I looked at him like, dude, you're what? And he said, all sports as we know it will not look like they do now. This was 5 or 6 years ago. Flash forward to today, we don't know if the NBA is going to work. We don't know if college football, we don't know if high school football, we don't know if we're going to have kids in school in the fall. From kindergarten up to college. We don't know. We saw the Patriot League and the Ivy League already cancel or postpone their fall football season and fall sports. We don't know. Nobody does. Not politicians, not governors, not presidents, not anybody. A lot of the science and doctors don't even know where we're headed. So it's not just a political thing. It's just facts or lack thereof. But I digress. On This Day in History is coming up. We're going to chat about something fun. We're going to chat about Hall of Fame. It's not every day you get to talk to a Hall of Famer, and we're going to do that next when we talk to Lindsey Gustafson here on the Jason Walker Show.
Store-wide savings are what you'll find when you shop for new home furnishings at Rucker's Furniture. This means tremendous values on Helena's largest in-stock selection of home furnishings. When you shop Rucker's, you'll find store-wide savings on the furniture you want for every room in your home. And you'll also find our selection of Serta iComfort, the most comfortable beds in Helena. 12-month financing is available with approved credit on most purchases over $299. Ask for details. You'll find store-wide savings at Rucker's Furniture, 1010 Dearborn, Helena.
Dinner's Done Right is open and ready for you to stop in and stock up for the summer. How does a Big Sky flank steak sound? Or a sage roasted pork loin? June's menu also includes a Parmesan tilapia and a variety of fantastic chicken cuisines and more. And if that's not enough, Dinner's Done Right's Grab and Go Soup, Salad, and Nacho Bar is back as well, with one exception. The delightful staff now will make it for you. And don't forget deliveries to Bozeman and Great Falls on select days. Stop in at 1212 Cedar Street in Helena or visit dinnersdoneright.com.
Who doesn't love being number one? When your team's dominating the standings or your favorite band rocks the charts at number one, it feels good, right? Kind of like how it feels when you have auto insurance with State Farm. Because making you feel like number one is an honor your local State Farm agent takes seriously. Through the good times and not so good, your State Farm agent's proud to be here to help life go right.
Call State Farm agent Mike Miller in Helena today. Have you thought about buying a home and just don't know where to begin? Well, when it comes to one of the most important purchases one can make, we understand it can be frustrating and confusing, but it doesn't have to be. Let the Major Mortgage team help you with all your mortgage needs. Major Mortgage means major service, and we would love the opportunity to help you today. Give J.R. McFadden, NMLS number 1246357, a call today at 406-465-1918, or you can visit him at 2001 11th Avenue, Building A, Suite 3 in Helena. Major Mortgage is a division of AMCAP Mortgage, NMLS number 129122, equal housing lender. Yes, it's true that Montana is a long way from the Gulf Coast, but you can bring that Cajun flavor home with a stop at Cafe Zydeco. From po' boys to classic sandwiches, Cafe Zydeco has all the best Cajun in town. Are you in the mood for seafood gumbo or crawfish etouffee? Maybe you're craving jambalaya with some shrimp and grits. Head in for breakfast, lunch, or dinner, or call ahead for pickup or delivery. Cafe Zydeco will fix all your southern cravings, even on a chilly Montana day. Cafe Zydeco is a proud sponsor of The Jason Walker Show. Do you love to look at photos of Montana, from animals to landscapes and more? Are you looking for a place to get your senior pictures or family portraits done? Are you a business owner looking to upgrade the decor in your offices? Well, look no further than Mark LaRoe Photography. Mark has been shooting beautiful photos all across the Treasure State, from rodeos to portraits, and would love to work with you. Visit marklaroephotography.com to see many masterpieces of his work, then give him a call to schedule your own photo shoot. Or to purchase one of his fantastic pieces, stop by Spirit of the Big Sky Gallery on Custer in Helena. marklaroephotography.com.
Welcome back to the Jason Walker Show.
Welcome back, Jason Walker Show, inside the Major Mortgage Man Cave. Kicking it old school, bumping the tunes. Wonder if I should get back into actually DJing. I miss DJing. I don't miss voice tracking. Voice tracking's horrendous. I miss live and the computerized stuff. Back in the day when we got into radio, the first back in the 90s, we used to get to play DJ. It was cool. Starting CDs and hitting the post. That's what we called when you ramp up to the big change in music, or the singing starting. So much fun. So much fun. I miss those days. I don't miss computerized at all. This segment brought to you by marklaroephotography.com. Check him out, and if you get 20% off any purchase by mentioning the Jason Walker Show. And if you book any family portrait or senior portrait or any portrait session, Mark will hook you up with a free 8x10 canvas or matte print just by mentioning the Jason Walker Show. Mark is he's up in at like a riding camp. He's out up in the Bob somewhere, or he was last week. But yeah, taking some great photos because that's what he does. All right, let's get to our next guest. She won some state championships. She's just awesome. One of my favorite people ever to chat with. and she's going into the North Dakota State Hall of Fame coming up in the fall. And joining us now, it is That's What She Said, brought to you by Dinner's Done Right. And make sure you stop by Dinner's Done Right on Cedar. Get your meals taken care of for the weekend. But we chalk to join. Wait, we what? We are now joined by the former CMR softball coach, newest member of the NDSU Hall of Fame, Coach Lindsey Graham Gustafson, on the Mike Miller State Farm Hotline. Coach.
All right, Coach. Well, it's weird to not call you Coach, but you're still always going to be Coach to me. But how's life been?
Life has been good. It's been busy, but with 3 little ones, it's just busy, but life is good. I cannot complain at all.
We were just chatting, and you retired last August, I think it was, and then all of a sudden there's no more sports starting in the spring when you were supposed to be coaching. So I don't know if it's because of your retirement, and then the whole world said, well, if Coach can't be around, then we just can't play sports altogether.
I don't think so, but I just feel awful for Alex stepping in and taking over, and she worked her butt off all off season to not even have a season to start. Just a bummer.
It is absolutely
for everybody.
Nuts. No question about it. Like we were talking, that nobody's ever seen anything like this, and we still don't know where we're headed in the sports world.
Yeah, it's very scary and so sad. I feel bad for you guys, and I feel bad for the seniors. And I mean, the unknown is just. I was just talking to a college coach yesterday, and he said he had to cut his budget by 10%, and then he had to do another one for 25%. And I'm like, if you don't have college football, how do you have any other sports?
Yeah.
So it's just crazy.
It's going to be nuts. Lindsey Gustafson joining us, the Hall of Fame coach from the state of Montana and CMR, but also now the newest member of the North Dakota State Bison Hall of Fame. How's that feel?
It's kind of surreal. I don't know. I'm feeling very humbled by the honor, and just it makes me really reflect back on my days at NDSU. And I just feel really grateful for all the experiences and people that I've got to meet and continue relationships with. So just a humbling experience.
Well, it should have happened a long time ago, because typically colleges wait like 10 years after you've left to put you in the Hall of Fame. They and NDSU waited like 16 years. This is kind of they were making you wait a while, and I don't know if that's really fair, Coach.
Yeah. Hey, I didn't really care. I was just grateful for the opportunity. But I was supposed to go in last year, but I was actually pregnant, and it was the week before I was due, and so they said, it's okay, we'll push it to next year. So
Gotcha.
That was nice. I appreciated that.
Well, see, if they would have just done it 10 years ago or 6 years ago, it wouldn't have mattered.
Yeah.
So I was reading back through some of your stuff at North Dakota State, and this is just absolutely amazing to me, everything that you accomplished. You're still, I think, in the top 10 in home runs with 25, a career .317 hitter, 98 RBI. But then you look at your pitching, which everybody looks at, over 1,000 strikeouts, number 1 in shutouts, ERA 1.11, strikeouts per 70. I mean, the numbers are staggering, Coach.
Well, I feel like there should be an asterisk in there, because I was the last season of Division II, so I wasn't in the Division I rankings back then. So I feel like I kind of should be in the different category than the rest of them that have come after me, because it's not really the same.
Yeah, but that's still impressive. I mean, over 1,000 strikeouts.
Yeah, I had a great catcher. I had great defense. It was a team effort for sure.
Okay, you got to take some of the credit a little bit here. I mean, 846 innings pitched with over 1,000 strikeouts. That's over a strikeout in an inning.
Mm-hmm.
That's
yeah, that
impressive.
kind of just doesn't. I mean, I guess I really haven't thought about it that much, to be honest. I'm just grateful. I'm grateful that the people that I got to play with, and I had an All-American in front of me that pushed me a lot, and she won the national championship in 2000. So that was a learning experience. And then I had a really awesome pitching coach, but he ended up passing away in my sophomore year due to cancer. So kind of just, learned and grew on my own and with our coaching staff. So
what were those tournament appearances like? You've been in some big time situations, both as a coach and a player.
What was an NCAA tournament like for you as a pitcher and a player?
We came in as defending national champs my freshman year, and we lost in the regional tournament. And that was just such a bummer because we were ranked number one for most of the season. And then my sophomore year, being able to get through our conference, because our conference was tough, and then our region was really tough. And so to be able to win that region and go to a national tournament was very amazing. I mean, it really was. Like, to be the top 8 teams in the country. It's not quite like the College World Series, that you watch on TV, but it was special for sure. And then to be able to go back again my junior year, you kind of got the feel for it, and then going back the next year was even better. So, yeah, it was really an awesome experience.
What was more important to you? Was it the national tournament appearances as a player, or all the state titles as a coach?
It's just a totally different feel. I feel like I have more control when I'm pitching and when I'm on the mound. And so that was fun. But to watch the players that you've worked with for so long achieve something like a state championship, and to see their excitement and their enthusiasm and just their love for one another, like, that is something special that you can't ever, I don't know. It's just, I had some amazing teams with some amazing parents and kids, and it's just, I don't know. They're both kind of right up there together, but different situations, I guess.
Lindsey Gustafson, our guest here, Mike Miller, State Farm Hotline, going into the North Dakota State Hall of Fame. So are you going to be able to go back with this COVID deal? Do we know anything? Like, do you get to go?
I'm planning on it as of right now, but who knows? I mean, if we don't have college football, I don't think we'll be having the banquet. So, and then I hope Great Falls Public Schools doesn't have a travel ban like we had we had 14-day quarantine at one point. So, yeah, who knows? I'm planning on it as of today.
When you look at who else is going in with you, Chuck Claybo, Dr. Andrew Moen was a great track and field athlete. A lot of great athletes from your time period. Nick Severson from wrestling. Do you know any of these other ones? Did you hang out in college with any of these other Hall of Famers?
I mean, most of them are a few years older than me, but I ran one of my roommates was a track athlete, 2 of them. And so I knew Andy and Jill and the other Andy. And so, I mean, I knew in Chuck Claybo.
Any of these other
I mean, friends from college. So, yes, I do know majority of them, but and Don Larson was a track coach for years and just retired. So, yeah, it's pretty special to be able to see what all of those people have done and to be able to go in with them. Like, it's very cool. So, I feel very honored.
You went into the Montana Hall of Fame, in 2018, I guess. And now you're going into the North Dakota State, which this is just a dumb question, but I'm going to ask it anyway. But which means more, the college one or the Montana home state one?
That's a tough question, but I think NDSU, just because, I don't know why, but to me right now, I guess it feels a little bit different going back. Maybe because, I don't know, it's different when I went out of state for college and I don't know. Montana just feels like home, and I don't know. It's a tough question, but right now it's the NDSU.
Okay. Because it's the one that's most current, maybe. That's what we'll go with.
Yeah,
it's the one
maybe.
that's the freshest. Rustlers, Bison, rivalry in Great Falls. You've been on both sides, both college and high school now.
Did
you ever
kind
get
of
a
strange.
load of crap about that?
Oh, I wear my NDSU Bison shirts, my green and gold shirts, and they're like, "What?" I have to preface it with my students and be like, "You're gonna see this throughout the year." So, but yeah, definitely have. And I put we just got a cabin up at Holter, and I put my NDSU flag up, and I already heard someone boating by, and there's an NDSU flag on the lake. I'm like, yeah, nice. I love that.
Nice. It helps when you have a really good football team out there too.
Exactly. And my husband is a Bobcat, and he hates the Bison, so he's going back with me in October. So it'll be fun for him to experience the Bison game.
Hey, I like your husband because at least he's not a Grizz, so there's that.
Yeah.
Hey, you mentioned public schools and travel ban and quarantine and all that. What's your sensation right now? Are we going to have in-person schooling in high schools and grade schools?
I sure hope so. I do not want to go back to online, especially when you don't know your students. So our principal sent out something yesterday. It's a couple different options, but nothing has been planned for sure at this point. We all know it can change next week if, who knows.
Sure.
So I sure hope so, though.
How was online for you in the spring?
It was a challenge being at home with 3 children and trying to manage that while being on my computer. And I felt like a terrible mom because they were watching TV a lot of the time just to not throw fits while I'm on the phone with parents. So
right. And the parents are the ones throwing the fit usually.
I had great parents, actually. I can't complain.
All right. So
they were very understanding.
For those couple of months, what was the movie go-to for the kids?
Oh, Doc McStuffins was a cartoon that they watched a lot.
Okay.
Yeah. One of them doesn't really watch PJ Masks. Okay. One of them doesn't sit and watch TV very much, and the other one does. And the other one's 9 months old now, so he was a little bit needy too. So,
well, yeah, the little needy is a 9-month-old. It makes that's perfect. I mean, we have a 2-year-old, and she doesn't watch the movies. It's just background noise, but a lot of Frozen and Frozen 2 when we kept her home from daycare.
Yep, that's a popular one in our car too.
She's gotten into
That's
Brave
awesome.
now. I didn't realize Brave was so good.
I don't know if we've watched that one yet. I need to get on that one.
Yeah, a lot of Scottish talking in there.
Gotcha.
Yep, and then Tangled was another one. So.
Oh yeah, that's another classic. How old is she? Like, when's her birthday?
May 1st.
Okay, so our 2-year-olds are kind of close. Mine will be 3 in May.
Okay.
I mean in August. Sorry.
Yeah. What day? Because my birthday is August 30th.
That's her birthday.
Seriously?
Yes.
Oh,
yes.
That's fantastic. See, I always knew there was a connection.
We'll remember that.
Us. Yes.
Well, I'll remember that now.
That is absolutely true. Hey, Coach, I know you're busy. I'm going to let you run, but it's a pleasure to catch up with you, and congratulations on North Dakota State Hall of Fame. And stay in touch. And,
thank you.
Now that I've got your North Dakota number, because you've never changed it in 2 decades.
I know. People keep asking me why I don't change it, but it's just not worth it now.
Do you have it memorized, or is it just because it's locked in your phone?
I have it memorized.
Oh, okay.
Yep.
Oh, that's good.
But it's always a pleasure talking to you. Thank you for having me on. I appreciate it.
My pleasure, Coach.
It's nice to catch up.
Absolutely.
So we'll take care.
Yep, you take care, and we'll talk down the road. Congratulations.
All right, sounds good. Thank you. Bye-bye.
That is Lindsey. Lindsey Graham Gustafson joining us on the Jason Walker Show, Mike Miller State Farm Hotline, and that's what she said. Brought to you by Dinner's Done Right. Make sure you stop by for the Grab and Go Camping Bundle. $95. It'll get you the 4 to 6 serving size of the Calbee beef flank steak, grilled Asian chicken fiesta burgers, 6 s'mores hand pies, and all in a tote bag from Dinner's Done Right. Grab and Go Camping Bundle. Always a pleasure to talk to Coach Gustafson, and she'll always be Coach to me. But, yeah. All right, tomorrow, coming up on the show, Dr. David Samadi. He is a little opposite of Dr. Fauci a little bit, if you follow him on Twitter. And we're going to talk with him tomorrow about COVID. And we're going to ask him about this. I don't know if you saw this yesterday, but 33 Florida labs were busted, reporting 98% positivity of COVID rather than 9.8%. So the numbers aren't exactly as inflated as they want you to believe they are. So we'll talk to Dr. David Samadi about that coming up tomorrow. All right, let's get to On This Day in History. And it is July the 14th, 2020. It is National Mac and Cheese Day today. It is also National Nude Day. Maybe I should have done the show with nude. No. It is also, I guess maybe this coincides together. National Nude Day and National Tape Measure Day go together. On this date in 1946, Lou Boudreau of Cleveland hit 4 doubles and a home run, but the Red Sox won the game because Ted Williams had 3 home runs and 8 RBI. 1951, the first color telecast of a sporting event. We're not going to say colored telecast. We're not going to be able to say that anymore. Cancel culture. We have to say the first first color telecast of a sporting event on this date, 1951. It was a horse race. In that horse race, it was the last race for 1948 Triple Crown champ Citation, who won the Hollywood Gold Cup to become America's first millionaire horse. 1963, at the 50th Tour de France, French cyclist Jacques Anquetil won his third consecutive. He was the first rider to win the Tour 4 times. And then a year later, in 1964 on this date, Anquetil won his fourth consecutive and became the first to claim 5 titles. 1967, Houston Astro Eddie Matthews hit his 500th home run. And then a year later, Hank Aaron hit his 500th home run. Both off San Francisco Giants, by the way. 1987 Rookie of the Year award renamed to honor Jackie Robinson. And it was one of the best things MLB's ever done. 1995, Ramon Martinez pitched a no-hitter for the Dodgers. All right, a couple of big ones here. On 1864, on this date, 1864, this date, July the 14th, gold was discovered in Helena. How about them apples? Gold was discovered on this date, 1864, in Helena. Last Chance Gulch. Fort Georgians, by the way, is going to be have to be renamed. Just saying. Little on the, yeah. Let's see. So what else happened on this date? Oh, this lady was born on this date in 1970. So she turns 50 today. Do you recognize the picture? That is Missy Gold. She played on Benson, the little girl on the TV show Benson. Why is that important? Well, she was born on this date in Great Falls, Montana. There you go. Missy Gold birthday today. And allegedly, Billy the Kid was killed on this date in 1881. Allegedly shot by Sheriff Pat Garrett. Allegedly. I say allegedly because I've seen Young Guns too, multiple times. And I'm not sure if William H. Bonney actually was killed by Pat Garrett or not. It's one of those things that will always live as a legend. All right, let's do this.
We're almost at the end of the show. What did we learn? And what did he miss? Time for the walk-off.
Oh, man, great show today. Thanks to Mikell Hougen for joining us. Big Bible Racing Barrel Camp coming up in Melstone next week with the Vizanes, JR and Shelby. Lindsey Graham Gustafson, CMR awesomeness coach, and headed to the North Dakota State Hall of Fame. Tomorrow, Dr. David Samadi will join us. We'll talk COVID and much more. Hope you had a good Tuesday. Enjoy your Tuesday night. We'll see you back here. If you go to JasonWalkerShow.com for anything that you may have missed or want to re-listen to. Plus, it's just a cool site. We'll see you tomorrow at 4. Dr. David Samadi will join us then on the Jason Walker Show. This last segment brought to you by Mark LaRoe Photography. All right. See you tomorrow, 4 o'clock.
The Jason Walker Show is produced by the Jason Walker Media Company. Any reuse, rebroadcast, or retransmission without the express written consent of the Jason Walker Show is strictly prohibited. Just listen, watch, and enjoy.